So by way of an update, so I had the call with one of the big lenders, and we had to extend our lending from 5 to 10 million pound of lending, and part of their process is to basically check whether the business model works, the investor makes sense. And so as part of that, there was a three-way interview with 3 people from the banks, myself, the broker, my broker, and basic questions that they were asking was, well, how long have you been doing this? How do you run it? How do you organize the tenants? How do you organize the property itself? What's the kind of almost the goal with the property investment? How do you raise funds? As well as how do you plan or any kind of changes that you're adapting to with the renters reform bill that's due to come in, as well as one of the questions I thought was quite pertinent was, well, how did you cope with the increase in interest rates since Liz Truss, and whether that has had a major impact on how we operate. And all of this was, I was giving them the answers like, we use technology like Arthur Online to run all of our properties, manage our tenants, increase the rents on an annual basis automatically, and that has then we've been able to manage the increase in the interest rate through that process. We also have a very good process of vetting our tenants, as well as to achieve 95% utilization rate on all of our units, from a room to a 4-bedroom house or 5-bedroom house. The process is that we will start to advertise at week 0, so 4 weeks before the tenant's going to leave, we start to advertise the room or the house, and then at week 2, before the property becomes vacant, we start to employ or engage external agents. All the while, otherwise our internal property managers are advertising solidly on things like open rent, spare rooms, and other platforms that we use. And the idea is that we are achieving a 95% utilization rate, because ultimately I want to minimize the number of days that a unit is actually empty, so that we can maximize the room, or the rents I should say, and ultimately then we increase our income that we can use to reinvest in properties. So the whole thing lasted about half an hour, and once I've come off the phone, the broker was on there and he stayed on, and then basically they said, yep, done deal, approved, right. We can now move from 10 million to 15 million. What it means is basically, we are the senior underwriter who works on my cases, on our cases, on Quiddity Group, was also there. It just means that for the senior underwriter, Chris, he has now the go ahead to basically keep underwriting and signing off on all of our purchases, the refinances, the blocks of flats that we're buying in a much quicker way. But also going from 10 to 15 million, that means we've got a guaranteed line of credit, as long as obviously they are still going to underwrite every property that we're buying, of course, because that's their job, and they're not just going to give you money for just like willy-nilly. But ultimately it makes their life a lot easier, having gone from 2 to 5 to 10, and now going from 10 to 15 million. And the next time we're going to have another review is when we hit the 15 million pound mark, which I'm going to envisage around 18 months from now, depending on how much concentration of the lending that we do. So ultimately, I guess here the learning here is to make sure that your processes are there. You have your accounts and your accounting and your accountants on board, and you're not going for the cheap one that's going to just trying to evade taxes or any other cost and then gets you in the shit when it comes to refinance. You have a commercial broker that is understanding of how the business works. You have a team of property managers who manages your property company and your tenants. You have technology that helps you manage much more efficiently and achieve this 95% utilization, increases your bottom line, or your top line I should say, as well as you have technology that increases the likelihood that you will reduce your bottom line as well. So ultimately it is all about how you end up running a property business. So my name is Azid. I've been investing for the last 25 years. I'm around here at the moment in Mauritius, investing also in Mauritius as well, in villas that we can actually rent to high-end holiday makers, beachfront villas. And the idea being that we are also now capital fundraising for investments in the UK with people from Mauritius, also from all over Asia and Africa, because it's almost a funnel of investors that come through Mauritius. It's a low tax regime, and you have a lot of people who come in and actually invest their money here. So yesterday I had a good meeting with a few people who are now going to work on our behalf to start to raise funds for Quiddity Capital. The idea that we will then use that capital to invest in properties in the UK, and then carve their return from the rent and give them that money on a fixed income. So if you're interested in those kind of investment as well, DM me, go to the www.quidditygroup.co.uk website, and you'll have a lot more information. But otherwise, just drop us an email and ask for more information, and we'll send you the fixed income brochure as well.